Well, tonight we've had music, dance, singing, all manner of storytelling. We've had poetry, and we've also had music going on a little bit. Sorry about that. But we've not actually seen any traditional storytelling. And there was this one fellow I met. Well, to be honest, I actually met him when I was off on one of my soirees trying to track down, well, it's not quite a gemstone, but it is rather pretty. It's all carved, and if you put electricity into it, it makes it spark. And anyway, it was buried in some pyramid or other, so I had to track down a historian to help me find it. And eventually we did. But this fellow, he kept me amused on the road no end with all of his stories. Tremendously funny fellow, and rather handy with a bullwhip. But I'll leave that to your imagination. But here tonight, telling one of his own tales, a spiffing chap, Mr. Rich Stokes.
Hello. I'm not an actor, but I do a bit of acting. Last year I had an audition for a short film and got cast in the lead, which, ooh, yeah, well may you say ooh, but it's not anywhere near as impressive as you might possibly think. The part was for that of a zombie, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I was apparently better than all the other people there at looking dead, which is, you know, marvellous for the self-esteem. There's no kind of skill set that requires you to look like a corpse in the real world unless you happen to be married to a necrophiliac, which I'm not. I'd just like to say that now. But the director said, yeah, you'll be a zombie, you're the last man on Earth. There's been this terrific environmental cataclysm, and you're the one male survivor, and you'll meet the last female. There's one problem. There's a problem with the eyes, which is never something you particularly want to hear. He said, we did have the money to CGI your eyes so that you would look kind of cataracty and roomy and milky, but we don't now. So how are you with contact lenses? And I hate contact lenses. I hate the idea of them. I've never used them, but putting anything near my eyes makes them water, and watching other people put contact lenses in makes me want to be physically sick. But I quite wanted the part, so I said, yeah, contact lenses, absolutely fine. In fact, I don't wear them, but sometimes I just stick stuff in my eyes for no reason. That's the kind of person I am. Get up in the morning, first thing I do is I look around for something to stick in my eyes. Right on the way here, I had chopsticks sticking in my tear ducts just for something to do, but I took them out on the way in because I thought it would be a bit weird at the audition. So they said, great. The next day, we're up the Clee Hills in Shropshire. Don't know if you're familiar, but this was supposed to be like this post-apocalyptic landscape. It was dawn, there was no one else around, you couldn't see anything, so I'm like this kind of all made up, like grey-skinned and extra makeup looking like there'd been chunks bitten out of my face. And they did all the kind of the long shots, so I'm stumbling around this landscape like a zombie. And then they went, right, now it's time for the close-ups. Here are your contact lenses. And they handed me these things, right? I've seen contact lenses before, okay? Friends of mine wear contact lenses. They're these kind of tiny, ephemeral, little, almost not there bits of plastic that look like part of a butterfly's negligee. The things that they handed me to be a zombie looked like nothing so much as enormous dinner plates that you might give to a very hungry lion. And there were two of them. But I'm committed to this now. I'm committed to my lie of knowing what to do with contact lenses. So I sort of did what I've seen other people do, and they sort of like stretch back an eyelid and you look up and sort of plop it on, and magically get this enormous lion dinner plate thing right onto my eye, and everything's great. And I'm like, that's weird, but not uncomfortable. And I try and do the same thing with the other one, and suddenly I'm plunged into a world of screaming agony. And I think, what would my acting hero, Jack Nicholson, do now? And the answer is obviously drink some bourbon and sleep with someone 30 years younger than you. And I'm like 34. I didn't see how that would help, to be fair. It would be inappropriate at best, I think. As the guy from Lost Prophets recently found out. It's all topical. Back to the story from a year ago. So, I don't tell anyone. Jack Nicholson, obviously, the answer would have lied and toughed it out. So I didn't tell anyone about the agonising contact lens problem, and they did all the close-ups until someone, a voice from the production team, said, "He's starting to cry his makeup off." And so I sort of went up to the director and I went, "Is it supposed to look like this?" And he looked into my face, and his exact words were, "Ugh," closely followed by, "It's gone right up under your eyelid." I couldn't see myself at the time, obviously, but what I'm envisaging is this sort of surfboard-sized thing sticking out from the top of my eye. It makes my eye water even more knowing that this is going on. But we've been up a hillside for a couple of hours now doing all these other shots. So I say, "Can someone help me get this out?" And the director says, "My hands are dirty, I can't do it." My own hands were dirty. The cameraman, the producer, there was no one there who could help me. So they went, "Right, we'll phone Alex. She'll come from Shrewsbury and come and help me get this out." And that took about an hour. And this girl turned up, and bless her, she did help me out. She did have very long fingernails, which was a little bit sphincter tightening as they came near my eyes. But she did help me out, and everything's fine. And the only problem was we had then lost a lot of time with me crying off my makeup and having to start again and all that kind of thing. The cameraman said, "Right, we're losing the best light. We have to get everything else done now." And we hammered through it. Everything was fine until we got to the last scene, in which the last man stroke zombie on Earth meets the last woman on Earth, who's also a zombie. And they sort of have a little sweet moment together and then kind of eat each other in this carnal embrace of animal ecstasy. And I thought, I was really looking forward to this scene. I thought that sounds quite sexy to me. It doesn't sound particularly, a bit of cannibalism with your sex might not be everyone's cup of tea, but personally, I thought this might be quite cool. But there was a lot of fake blood involved, and we had to use these blood packs to go in our mouths, and they make it taste kind of like rotten strawberries. So we're kind of like pretending to bite and kiss each other's necks and bursting these blood packs, and this stuff's going all over you. It tastes absolutely disgusting. Someone else was standing out of shot, dribbling more fake blood down onto us, so it looked like there's something really horrible was going on. And then it's freezing cold, we're covered in fake blood. It's, like I say, all made up, chunks missing from our faces, and the director says, "Cut, that's a wrap. You guys just go and you've done very well. Go and sit in the car, and we'll tidy up," because obviously you don't want actors handling lots of very expensive camera equipment. So he sort of shoveled us out of the way. Night was beginning to fall. The actress who played the last woman on Earth curled up in the back seat, fell asleep, and I was about to phone my wife because it went on a lot longer than I was expecting it to. So I sat down in the front seat of the car as night fell, and I phoned home. And as the phone call connected, there was a little knock at the window, and I think it was a sort of middle-aged guy, like a sort of hillside rambler who'd been for a bit of a walk, perhaps walking his dog, although I didn't see a dog. I opened the door a crack, and it turned the little light on in the car. And what I saw was a sort of pleasant-looking middle-aged man with like sensible fleece and corduroy trousers and hiking boots. And what he saw was a man with chunks of his face missing, covered in blood, and in the back seat there was a dead girl. And I said, "It's done." Took absolutely ages. There was loads more blood than I was expecting. Did I tell you there was a problem with the eyes? I had to get help to get them out. It was a new idea. Well, I suppose we'll drop her off on the way back. Love you. Bye-bye. And when I looked back, he was gone. Thank you very much.
Mr. Rich Stokes, everybody.